Let me just go back onto my account. Your YouTube channel. Videos, playlists.
Oh my.
Edit video. Delete that. Delete forever. There we go. Hi. Alright, so hopefully I haven't messed up this time.
Oh my.
Edit video. Hi. Delete that. I turned up the volume of this a little bit. There we go. Hi. So, today we are starting something new. We're doing a completely new project. And I'm going to go through, mainly because I need to kind of actually stick to my stuff. Stick to my work. But then I also decided, you know what, screw it. Probably a good idea. I actually stick to it. Now I'm just trying to get the URL link, which is a bit more taxing than you'd think for someone who doesn't know how to use YouTube. Hold on, let me just... Gosh, where is it? Can I not just see my stream? Is that nowhere to be seen? Can I get my URL? See, this is the problem with moving over to YouTube. Shit. Fuck, there's gonna be some... There we go, that's the share button. See? Put this on my Twitter. But yeah, so, the idea is, so today we're going to be setting up the very basics of the world. So what that consists of is the audio zoning. So I'll give us the breakdown. Hold on, let me get out the classic notepad, right? So, yeah. So here's the Vrchat world idea, right? It's going to be a club world, right? Because he doesn't do club worlds in Vrchat. And it's going to have audio zoning, which is a pretty easy program to write. It's also going to have, you know, ambient sound effects. That has been done through prefabs, but I feel like it probably could help both my programming skills and your programming skills to maybe try and do that here instead. So, ambient audio. Also, ignore the way I spell half my words there, not done properly or anything. Let me actually check if I'm streaming. Yeah, I am actually streaming properly. There we go. I need to see if there's like a chat button somewhere. Make sure that I can actually, like, you know, keep an eye on the stuff happening. There's my Discord, and then there. So we've got the ambient audio. That's another thing. And there was a really nice idea, so it's like clean, sterile environment. And then from that, you know, that's box design. See, there's a bunch of stuff here that I've came up with in my head. We're going to be using shaders such as LT CGI, or Aerial It. Those are like two real-time shading methods used to light up worlds, like video plays and stuff. You'll see them around. If you see something credited by Pi, it is LTCGI. If it's Aerial It, that's a person called Lox. Both great people, amazing shader work. And then, you know, stage lighting, that's another thing. But we may actually end up doing that ourselves. I had a conversation with a creator called, hold on, I had a conversation with a club owner called Muzz, and he came forward and he was talking about lighting, and he said to me that, you know, the best way to do lighting, like we do have VRCL, which is VRC stage lighting, another amazing thing, but it's very general use. It's not very specific. It's very bad for performance. Where if you design the shader around your world specifically, you can have really, really high quality stuff, but also not as, like, you know, laggy, because it's stripped down for your specific use case rather than having all the extra junk on top of it. So stage lighting. And then another very important thing is the VJ, like, you know, UV map. That's going to be very important because that is how VJs come in and do their visual effects on the screens. And we kind of need to have an intuitive way to break it down into the different components. Now, I think for this world, we may go down the route of streaming 1440p across the network, and then having that split up into a lot of pixels, because that just gives us a lot of, like, pixel variety. And that just allows people to create a bunch of stuff. And just anything off the top of my head here I'm thinking of that, you know. Player audio muffle, that's another thing. That one's going to be a bit more challenging, because that actually will involve us distorting voices and stuff. I don't know how possible that is actually in VRChat, but we'll explore it together. So that is the idea for the world, right? And I know I've been doing this kind of stuff for ages, where I say I want to do stuff with worlds, but I don't. Now, if we go down here, we'll go to, like, you know, what we're going to be learning today. This is the 24th of the 10th, 22. Because I'm British, I have to do it this way. We're going to be learning how to use the VCC, which is the VRChat Creator Companion, something very useful. The other thing we're going to be doing is Udon Sharp. We're going to be doing the very basics of that. Now, I'm no professional. I actually recommend you go look up a guy called Valgan. He's amazing, gives great tutorials on pretty much anything. He gives a great breakdown. He's very good. He you know, he's taught me a lot of the stuff I know. He's helped me out actually with quite a few things. He's very happy to hop in and help any new people into Udon Sharp. You know, setting up a Unity project. That's another thing we're going to be doing. And I'd say probably the last thing we'll be doing is starting the design process. Oh, that's wrong. Design, yeah. So we're going to be setting up the design. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, we may get onto a bit more like choosing our video player, streamer, stuff like that. But this is the overall idea. So let me just create a folder in my computer for this. And we're going to call it... Where is it? Sorry, my drives are like full. So like it's quite laggy. Connect streams. And we're going to just have this nice copyright-free lo-fi, which I really hope I don't get copyright strike for. If I do, I'm going to actually throw myself out of a window. Okay, so we'll just... Hold on. I don't know why I'm in my OSC report there, but... Now, this doesn't really have any ETA on it being done. This is just something I'm going to be streaming occasionally. Hopefully it gets done by New Year's, because of my New Year's resolution actually involving me to finish this by New Year's. But yeah. I'm going to call this. Now, while I'm on and off streams, I may do stuff in the background. So don't be too aggressive on me. So anyway, we'll get into the start of this, right? We've got Google. What you want to do is you want to look up VRChat, and you'll come to here. You'll see that you've got your things. Now I'm using Chrome. It'll be pretty much the same. You want to click on the link that says Hello VRChat. You want to log in. It should just bring you straight in like here. You'll see all the friends open up, all that kind of stuff. all that nice jazz. Beautiful website. But what you want to do is, you see on the side here, you want to go down to download, right? And once you go on to download, you'll see a thing called the Creator Companion. Now, what you need to do is download that, because in 2023, Vrchat will be removing both their avatars and their world sections from the website, and you'll have to do it through the Creator Companion. Now, the Creator Companion is an amazing thing. It helps us import packages and stuff, but it will help us get set up. You see this other, you do not want to go here, because SDK2, I believe, from what I've been hearing, may get removed in 2023 with this Creator Companion update. So if you go down the route of SDK2, don't do that, because they could, like, within the next year or two, they could all be deleted for no reason. They do not promise they're going to maintain them. So make sure you just stay up to date with the SDK. Stay with 3.0 or SDK 3. So what you want to do is just download that, and you should get a pop-up like this. Hold on. Oh, another thing to note. You want to go on to Unity. Hold on. Unity. And I think Vrchat uses... Yeah, Vrchat uses 2019. Yeah. So the current version of Unity we run in Vrchat is Unity 2019.4. I think it's 30F1 or something? I'm not too sure. Hold on. Don't ask why I have a Uni injector sitting there. Yeah, 2019. Yeah, so it's 2019.4 31F1. I haven't done it in a long time. That's why I had to look it up. But what you want to do is you want to just type it in, download archive, I believe. You just basically just download that version. And that will be the Unity you use. So we're looking for 2019.x. And we're going down to 31F1. Right there. And then you want to do is just download that for the Unity Hub. And launch it. It will just make sure that Vrchat is actually working. I don't know if you need to do that in the Creator Companion, but it just helps. Anyway, so what you want to do is, you see this project section? You want to go down to add. Actually, shit, no. You want to go down to new. Sorry, I'm still getting used to it. And we're creating a world. Like, if you were creating an avatar, you'd set up an avatar project. If you want to create a world, you set up a world project. Elon Shop, you do that. So what I want to do is I'll redefine its position. So we'll actually put it into my stream folder. I'm going to put this into stream work. There you go. And then I'll call this... Now I believe what we can do, yeah, you've got your Unity editor, your JSON files, your Windows size. Now what we want to do is we probably want to go over to user package. Now I don't know if it. Hold on, give me a minute. I'm gonna add in one of my preferred shaders, which is Moochie. I just find that it works a lot better. Moochie, that's a kid's website. Whoops. Moochie Unity shader. GitHub. Now, I believe this just works as like any Unity package can go in here. Go to downloads. Oh no. It doesn't work like that, does it? Yeah, alright. Anyway, we'll ignore that. I'll just teach you the old ways. The old methods, some may say. Apparently there is a better way of doing that. I'm not too sure. I'll probably try and post that in the Discord once I get that set up. Anyway, you want to click on world and obviously rename it to what you want to call it. And you just want to press create. and Vrchat will do the rest for you. Now, this is where we wait, and I have to sit here awkwardly because usually I'd be panicking about it being set up or whatever, but now it's automatically done. You know? And just like that, boom, we're straight in. Now, you'll see that we have this package here. It's now in the, the new form. So what we have is the Vrchat SDK base, we have the SDK for Worlds, Package Resolver Tool, Unity Client Simulator. That one's a very good one, make sure you always have that. But one of the things that is very useful in Vrchat is, you can program Udon through graphs, but the preferred method is actually through Udon Sharp. It makes it a lot more readable, a lot easier. So you want to just click ahead, add that, and that's 1.1. And boom, that's you done. And if you really wanted to, you can add in the avatar system. I'm not, because this is a world project, but you can if you want. I don't think it causes any problems, but you'd have to try that out on yourself. Anyway, just click Open Project. And once you give it a minute, it will open up and it will look beautiful. Alright. And this is being opened up as we speak. Just give it a minute, it's Unity, so it takes a while sometimes. But yeah. Is mainly the stuff with Unity. That's the main setup. Now, obviously, you want to import your own stuff, your own content in. That's completely fine. It's just, it'll take you a while to actually, compile everything. So, I don't really have much sleep. Oh, I made myself a cup of tea and it's still it got a bit cold, so it's not too good. But yeah. With this kind of stuff, so we're gonna actually... Do I still have that text file open? I do not. Okay, I'll open up that text file again. Because this is where we need to start focusing on what we're gonna focus on today. So, I feel like audio tones is probably going to be a very important part because that helps build up the atmosphere. The ambient audio, I will probably just steal from Epidemic Sounds. Because of, you need to have your own copyright-free content, especially because I actually do plan of doing stuff with this in the future. So, I'd say our thing we're going to do is teach you the basics of maybe LTCGI and Aerialit. Both of them, I'd say. VRC stage lighting, probably not worry about that. Or player audio muffle and audio zones. So I'd say... Yeah. So we're going to plan on doing those. So doing on 24/10/22. We are going to set up LTCGI. We're going to also do audio zones. This is audio is one of the biggest, I'd say one of the biggest like ignored factors in a lot of club worlds. And what else are we going to do? And play audio muffle. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So as you can see in here, we have a package, Udon Sharp. Udon Sharp data locator. Everything is underneath here in the package. It's like all underneath the hood. Now for what I recommend is, so there are, for Udon Sharp especially, you have, there's standard Visual Studio Code, but what we're actually going to do is Visual Studio 2022. Now, this one is better for Unity. It has a better Unity setup. I haven't tried the other one. What's it called? I haven't tried, Visual Studio Code. In fact, I tried it, but it doesn't have very good Unity support. And I haven't tried the Unity section of it, but it could work. It depends. It depends on your setup, because that's the whole thing with Visual Studio Code, is it's all about plugins. I use it for my schoolwork, but I use, you know, Visual Studio for Unity. Anyway, if you do have something you want to change, I believe it's, where is it? I think it's in here and preferences. So edit preferences, and you'll be brought into here, and you'll have this. So you have Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio 2019. I'm on 2022. I do recommend 2022. Looks a lot nicer, has better support, a lot nicer to type in. It's like AI learned, so it will help you a lot. So we've got this project here. Now, we're missing quite a bit. If we have a look at our to-do list, we have to have the setup for LTCGI, player audio, the audio zones, and the audio muffle. That is all Unity components. But the setup for LTCGI and Arealit, we'll get those imported. So where can you find these? So Arealit is actually a paid asset. Hold on, where is it? Let me just open up Booth. So Booth is a Japanese website for content creation. You'll see a lot of Vrchat creators are actually on this. I'm on this. It's in the yen. Yen's down right now, so you probably want to buy stuff. It's relatively cheap. But the thing is that, hold on. Give me a minute. Let me just try and find it. I barely can sign into Booth half the time. Let me go to shopping cart. No. Purchases. Now, Arealit right now is about £15. I do highly recommend it. It's 25,000 yen. You've probably seen this. RTX. It's quite useful. As you can see, it does real-time reflections and like all this real-time stuff. It's actually quite optimal too. You can see, so the benefit of this one over LTCGI is I think it's more performant. Because it doesn't use any fancy scripts or anything. It just literally only works with shaders. The problem is with that, it is very reliant on stuff. But yeah, I'd recommend, you know, checking this out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Seek Quest compatible right there. And then Cluster World, it's also designed for another platform. That's 25,000 yen. So in dollars, 2,500 yen to USD. That's about $16. I think it's about Great British pounds. It's about £14 or £15, you know? I'm so lucky the yen crashed. Oh, that'll be so much cheap. Oh, that'd be so much more expensive. But yeah, anyway, so that's that. So I'm probably going to go down the other route, which is LTCGI. LTCGI was created by a guy called Pi, or a gal. I don't know what they are. I don't want to assume. But it's a really nice app. It does pretty much the exact same thing. Though I believe it is... it's Quest only, really? Oh no, it's PC only. But yeah. What you can see here is the catches with this one, where logs, you just chuck it in your world, no attributions needed. You don't need to credit anyone. With LTCGI, if you do put it in any of your worlds, you have to include this prefab. Or reach out to Pi with a custom way of like, you know, crediting him or her for their work. And, you know, implement it through that way. So what we're going to do is, for educational reasons, because now I've actually showed it to you, show you where to find it, check out Pi Maker's Git. You just click on releases here, and you want to go down to the 1.0 release. Oh gosh, okay, the core package, Pro TV, only download if you plan using that video player. Okay, so you see that there's like these multiple methods of, you know, doing these lights. Now, I don't know what video player we're going to use. So, for the meantime, we're going to go with just the LTCGI package. Just the first one. And you'll get these little package here. You just click on that with your Unity project open, and it'll just pop up like that. And you'll see how this all set up. you want to press import, and that'll go in. So I'm gonna just get a random video file from my computer real quick so we can demo it. Sugar. Some little scene work we were doing for a movie called... Oh shit. Can I like back out of that? Thank you. Oh my gosh. You can't see all my photos. Not allowed to. But yeah, so it was a little scene work we did for a show or a thing called Foxwire. I don't think I got involved. It's one of those things where it's like... Let me just crop this out on the end because it's got a bit of the editor cut stuff because this is just the raw footage. Just cut that off like the last bit there. You see the director coming in there. Save copy. There we go. And then I'll just drag that copy in. It allows us to show off LTCGI now. Don't tell what's his name that I showed off some Foxwire in this. Where is it? There we go. There's the trim. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a asset called video files. Make sure you keep your projects organized. Trust me. I don't do it, and it's awful working with the stuff. So yeah, there we go. Now that's brought in some weird problem. I wouldn't worry about that. Just it seems like an import issue. We'll just call that LTCGI demo. Now I believe there's actually one in there. So what you want to do, I'm just going to delete everything in the scene. Completely start it fresh. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to create a new scene. Don't save. So now we're on a completely new scene. We'll keep the directional light, but we'll remove that. And we'll go in and just create a plane. Alright. So, in here we have, what's it called? Just a plane. Now, what you want to do is... Give me a minute. First of all, make sure you always drag that in. It'll be the first thing you see. It's definitely the most important thing about LTCGI. You have to credit Pi. Because it is an amazing thing that he's just given that for free. So the first thing is, you want to, first of all, if you don't know what you're doing, read the README. I swear I won't have this on in the background. Sugar. There you go. This here will give you pretty much all the information you'll need about the shader. It will give you like the official docs, the shader list that it includes. I'll go into how to use custom shaders in a bit. The licensing, the attribution, that kind of stuff. Tells you about the algorithm and the project, how they're doing it, and yeah, it gives you the fundamentals. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to not read that because I am a masochist and I'm going to figure this out as I go on the go because I don't use LTCGI. But one of the things that we have to do is, you see this controller? That needs to be in your scene. What that does is that allows the thing to actually see what, you're doing. Actually allow stuff to work. You can pick your shadow map, stuff like that. So here's the main thing, right? We'll get a quad in. And the reason why we do a quad, not a plane, is that a plane is a bit funky sometimes. And the scale we're going to go with is 1.92 by 1.08. And the reason why is because that's actually 1080p. It's just divided by 1,000, sorry. And that gives us our exact number. So this is what a normal video file will look like. And what we'll do is we'll call this video. We'll call this ground. And we'll just split this up into video player. Just remember, make sure your project is nice and organized. Especially if you start going down a kind of larger set route. where you're building larger worlds, especially club worlds, it helps a lot, because if you ever need help, I just like calling this one graphical, because this provides nothing to the world whatsoever, other than giving it, you know. And here we go. So one of the things you have to do when creating this kind of stuff is, you see this? This is the default material. This is like kind of just, you know, the base thing Unity comes with. And that's all great and stuff, but we want to do fancy stuff. And LTCGI is shader based. So what we want to do is we want to change that to a shader that it supports. So if I go into the... Here, I'm going to call... just demo materials, and we're going to go in here and we're just going to create a new material, and we're going to call that floor. Right, I'm going to just drag that on, just literally just drag that on, and boom, it's now called floor. It's not the default stuff. I'm just going to change this to a grid. I believe Udon comes with a grid. I thought it came with a grid. Am I proven wrong? Udon floor. There we go. See? Right there. And we're going to scale this maybe like 3 times. There you go. See? Now, what we also need to do here is we need to add in a material, like a video player. I'm just going to call this video. And we're going to drag this onto the plane. And boom. It works. And now what we want to do is we want to go into LTCGI and choose... I think it's Pro Build? No. I am completely wrong. Just make this into like a video. Yeah, right there. Video, real-time emissive gamma. Do that. Now there are other video player textures you can use. I do recommend you try out the others. There's some really nice LED ones and overlay ones. But we'll just use this one for the meantime. Now, another thing we need to do is... Hold on. Well, I'm just going to create another folder called Week 1 Demo. I'm going to drag that in there. The reason why we're going to do that is because LTCGI texture. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a thing called not a custom render texture, but just a render texture, right? And we're going to call this video, right? And we're going to change the resolution to, I think it's 1080. Oh, I think this one's 1920. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. That just matches the resolution, so there's no weird scaling artifacts or anything. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and you see the real the emissive RGB. Just drag that in. I missed. See, and it'll go a grayish color, and that is the background. And congratulations, we've already partially set it up. Now there's a video texture. So that's the video there, and the way I remember is, you know, your video there needs to go in the video section. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just drag that in, and boom, you got your video texture. Now it's obviously got this Udon adapter that teaches it a bunch of like, tells it what to kind of do, but yeah. What we want to do here now is, so we've got the render texture, so that's all working. But think about it, right? If we were to play this right now, it would do nothing. It would just be a black screen. So what do we do? The video player, I'm going to do this because it's nice and organized. I'm going to type in video player. Now this is purely for debugging. Do not use this in an actual Vrchat because that's removed on load. What you want to do is use the, you know, Vrchat Unity player, and that will give you a URL, and you input that URL. The problem I have in editor is that sometimes that URL doesn't work, and I may not also be able to show any of the stuff on the URLs because of getting a copyright in here. So what I'm going to be using is the video player, but in reality what you want to be using is the AV Pro or, you know, the Unity video player. Or just use another pre-made one like Pro TV, Merlin's Shop video player, that kind of stuff. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just drag in the demo. and we will run this here now. Now this should spawn us in another character. I don't know if we're gonna just fall to our death though. Oh, hold on. It just instantly kicked me off. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna add a camera back into the scene just so it actually functions. And hopefully we can just spawn in here. Please, Unity? No, it doesn't want me to. Oh, okay. So, a big thing I forgot was, you know, not actually putting in a... Hold on. Like, not putting in, like, a fundamental, you know, scene descriptor. So I'm going to just type in Vrchat. Oh, hold on. Scene. Oh, never mind. I'm just going to create a new section. Call it scene. And this allows us to actually create... This is where we're going to put all our scene information. So VRC. Scene descriptor, that's very important. And then... I think there's another one for jumping and stuff you can put in. If not, we'll just program that ourselves. URL input field, that's another very good useful thing. Alright, so it's not there, we'll just add that later. So we're going to put the scene descriptor, just put it at 00. I recommend just putting everything at 00, especially if you're doing this like an organization thing. It just means that all the numbers are still the same if you're trying to do any maths. And we'll just put in a spawn, which we'll just create an empty, call that spawn. And you see the way here it says spawns. It says scene, we want to change that to spawn. And we just drag this out, pop that down there, and we just log in. And this should just work. Hopefully, but there's no promises. Yeah, see, we spawned in on the client sim, and the video player isn't working. Lovely. Why is that not working? That's why. So we've put in the video clip, so the video is technically playing, but we haven't actually said... Alright, where are you sending this to? Now, you can do a material override, but we're going to be using a render texture, because that's how LTCGI works. What you want to do is you want to go down to the thing called video, which we have named. Click on that. And now when we launch it, you should see the video probably playing. As you can see here, there's the scene right there. And that's how you get the video player working. Now, as you noticed, it's not streaming onto the ground. And there's like two main reasons for this. First one is we haven't actually added in the LTCGI component here. So we type in LTCGI and we have a screen, right? And it is a quad. That's what we've used. Don't click on anything else. I think you press dynamic. I think that's the only thing you press because it... Actually, wait, no. You don't click dynamic because I believe that just says, oh, I'm moving around. And unless you're doing animation with these, there's no point of clicking that on, I don't believe. And this one is a texture. I'm just going to set it to that. And I believe now that technically should work. But it won't. And that's because how LTCGI works is it uses shaders because Vrchat, it's too expensive to do it on Udon. So it uses shaders, which is really fast math to do this. And so what you want to do is find the LTCGI area and you want to click on surface. What this basically says now is, oh, I can be streamed on now. Like I can actually take on LTCGI components. Now I'm going to remove the light source from the scene. This should hopefully give us a bit of a reflection in the ground. Actually, wait, hold on. Now, force update, I believe. I've confused myself. Anyway, I'm going to just run this. Hopefully it should work. If not, I have to figure out what's wrong. great. It isn't working. Lovely. Smoothness. Oh no, it is. It is. So you'll notice there that you know, it's coming off there. It's like reflected in the bottom. That's just because our smoothness wasn't turned up. Now you have to remember LTCGI is kind of like specular based. You'll see down there it matches up perfectly. But what it can do, and what I recommend is, you know, while it can do this, I recommend you set that to maybe like 0.5. Like, you won't notice it. But I think if you go into the controller, there's a setting to actually increase the intensity. We'll change it back to 4. Oh, it works for cylinders? That's weird. Oh, it's probably in color, I'd assume. Change it back to quad because we're using a quad. Yes, you've seen the intensity. You'll see that gets lit up. So what we want to do, probably set that down to maybe about 2. And you'll see that the video actually contributes to the light. Now, if you use a proper, you know, video shader, you'll be able to make it match up a bit more. What you kind of want to do is try and get it matching up a decent amount. You'll see there it's changing. And that's how you set up LTCGI. Ta-da! And now it's time to head over to the next section of this all. Audio zones. Lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hide... Yeah, I'm going to hide the video player because that's kind of not very important. We do need the ground and we need the scene. I'll just organize this a bit more. Put these into processors. Make sure, don't do a me. Make sure you always put that down into 00. I'm gonna just remove gizmos for now. But yeah, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make an audio zone. Now, Unity does actually have a built-in method of, you know, causing audio muffle. Now, what we want to do here is create a script which works reliably and is scalable, because I want to create multiple audio zones, obviously. So we're going to have a lot of control in this situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this audio control. And then underneath this, I am going to add in... Actually, you know what? We're just going to... Udon behavior. This is how we control stuff. And since this is all going to be local calculated, we don't need to worry about this. Now within here, I'm going to create some boxes. Or 2 boxes, actually. I'm going to just make this, say, like 2 by 2 by 2. No, we'll make that... No, 2 by 2 by... There you go. So we've got 2 different zones here. What this allows us to do is this will be the box. And since it's going to be a trigger, we're going to remove that. And we can remove the mesh filter. But what we want to do is press is trigger. And add in a physics component. Well, not a physics raycaster, but no, it's a rigid body. And the reason for this is that no matter what you do, you always need to have a physics component. Because for Unity to calculate if something is actually in this cube, if you actually need to calculate anything in this, what you need to do is You need a physics or a rigid body because it for whatever reason, it's just a quirk of Unity. There's no real reason why. I think it's something to do with the fact that collision enter is a physics-based thing. So we've got a section. I'm gonna just add an audio source. I need to find something that I own. So just give me a minute. I'll add in. I don't think I actually have any audio sources that I truly own. Damn. Okay. We'll go to Spook, because I know at least that is open source. Week 1 demo. Code. And we'll put in here audio. Now, so what's it called? We'll go back to our checklist. Done. Now, I won't really go through LTCGI because Lox gives great support for it anyway. But yeah. Anyway, we have our audio zone right here, and we need to get our audio source, which is right here. This is just my Spookality. I think it's the audio source I used for it. I'm going to just put this overall. Now, this is what will usually be our audio source. It will just play music out of it, but for this one, I actually believe it's... Oh, no, that's Spook. Whoops. That's something completely different. Shit, okay. I don't really have much to go off here. You guys just have to trust me with this. You know what? Audacity. Literally, half sound design is just making random noises into your mic. So I'm going to just go... Where's record? There you go. Crop that off. There you go. We're just gonna export that. Now you guys are gonna have to forgive me for this awful demo clip. Literally just gonna have to forgive me for doing this awful thing. Oh no, I messed up. With that export too. Big problem with my work. Export. Export MP3. Where is this to? Oh, it's in downloads. Oh wait, no, never mind. Hold on. I don't even know where that went. Shit. Okay, we'll just make this again. We'll just put it into... I thought it would just cut off. Apparently this is better for looping, but... Oh well, we'll see. Export.wave. Oh no, it's OGG. That's what we want to do. Actually, I think that... No, oh no, okay, no, that's in my downloads. Okay, hold on. That's another important thing. Just make sure your audio is actually organized. Drag this into the scene. Actually, no, we won't. We'll go into Spook, and we'll just drag it into there. So, that's our audio source. And if we enable loop, if we go in, this is what we'll hear. Now, this is probably going to be very loud. I do apologize. If this... Alright. And no matter where we go, hold on. Let me click on Audio Zone. So if you hear that, you know, nothing's happening, right? So what we want to do is we actually want to control that. So we're going to create a new program. If it allows me. No? Okay. Alright, we're just going to call this go into week 1 demo code, and we're going to create a oh shit, no, not a C# script. We program in Udon, but we will be using a C# script. Give it a minute. It really does not like me just deleting stuff. See, and now boom, delete. There you go. Give it a minute while it calculates this. Now I have a lot of tabs open, so it probably will take longer than expected. There we go. Going to create, go into U#, but if you really want to, go into Udon, and then you can create a Udon graph. I recommend for new users you go down the Udon graph, but personally I prefer Udon Sharp because it feels more professional. And we're going to call this audio muffled. Audio zone control. Now I use Pascal case, or I'm going to use Pascal case. If you don't know what that is just capital letters at the start of each word. It just helps a lot with organization. So yeah. Should probably be streaming to Twitch right now as well. Whoops. Anyway, drag in your audio zone control. We don't need any form of syncing because this is all calculated locally. This is how the local user sees it. So we don't need to actually worry about any form of sync. And then you think you click on that, but in reality you click on this, which is the C# script. So we're programming in C#, but it's like a very limited version. Alright, so you'll see here, no, I don't care about visual, that you have all of these sections here. Let me just zoom in. You'll have void start, and what void start means is basically on the first initialization, we'll do this. So what we want to do is we'll keep that, but we'll also create a new thing called void on play. I think it's no, not player disconnect. Void override. No, it's public void. Sorry. Public void override play on trigger enter. There we go. Now this is, oh no, it's actually that's the right stuff for it. There you go. And that's how you write that. So that basically means, all right, on trigger enter. That's what we actually need to type. So that basically means on trigger enter, but on, we need to add in the player element of that from the Vrchat SDK. And what that basically means is, all right, whenever a player enters this trigger, do this. And let's just call it Vrchat. What's it again? I think it's VRC player API, and then just do player. And there you go. So that's basically what that's saying is, okay, on player trigger enter. So when the player enters this, or when a player enters this, do this. But what we're saying is specifically when the player or the local player in, you know, Vrchat, so you have your own player capsule. What we're saying is, all right, use Vrchat's player capsule, and we'll do that. Now, this is terrible. This is kind of set up. There you go. And now what we need to do, so when the player enters this trigger, what we want to do is we want to try and add some audio effect. So right now to this audio source, I'm going to call it spook. We're going to call this audio. So that's a 0, 0. And then we'll put spook into the audio section. So spook is our, we're just going to call our video output. And what we want to do here is add in the... Okay, well, we need to make sure we add in... So I want to add a muffle, so that's a low pass filter, right? We apply that directly on. So what are we going to do? Or how does this work? So what we want to do is, in C#, you have to declare your variables. So I'm going to declare a public, because we want it to access the entire script, or the entire project. Now this sometimes isn't the best for control, but this is the way we're going to be doing it, because it's a relatively easy, nice way to implement. Security concerns can come up later when I introduce bug testing, and that's when we'll start to rewrite part of this code. But right now, for now, public is going to work fine. And then what you want to follow it by is its type of variable, which we're going to use audio low pass filter, right? Now I'm going to make this just called audio video. No, source output, because we want this to be scalable. And because we want this to be scalable, another thing is we want to do the audio public. Hold on. We're going to do a public int, and we're going to call this cutoff. And what that is that's going to be the number for the cutoff, which allows us to actually, change it to the player. Yeah. Alright, so on start, we want the hold on, give me a minute. Audio, so we want to go source output. Source output dot, and then do the cutoff frequency, and then what we want to set this to is cutoff. Hold on, give me a minute. So basically what we've done there is we've said, all right, so the audio source, we're going to control, because this is the low pass filter. So this is all the stuff involved in the low pass filter. So you'll see up here that we have our cutoff frequency, right? We're like, okay, so the cutoff frequency, we'll set that to, we'll set that to a determined value, which we have here, and we've set it to cutoff. On start, I'm going to just make the cutoff. Cutoff is equal to, and let's just say 20,000, because that's how high our hearing can go. That means that there's not much that can happen. But on this enter, what we're going to do is going to change this variable, make it equal to about 200. And what this does is that basically when we enter this, it will change the cutoff to 200. So then it should sound really muffled. So that cuts everything off until 200 hertz. Now the next thing we want to do is... Actually, wait, hold on. No, that's for any player. I just remembered that. So if any player enters that, it will cut off. So what we want to do, which we'll do later, because we're currently, right now, we're only worrying about a local thing on player, trigger, exit. Think exit, close that off. No, actually, no, hold on. We need to do the VRC player API. Player. And then we open up our brackets because it's a method. There you go. Now, I believe it doesn't really like that. We have to add public. It's not very happy with me. Public void override. I think it is. No. On player, trigger enter or exit, right? And then what we'll do here is we'll set the cutoff to 20,000. Another way of doing this is just saying it true and false, but we'll do it through this way because it allows us to actually source output dot, let's just do cutoff frequency, and then we'll set that equal to the cutoff value, right? And then if we were to save this, if you give it a minute, it will change this in Unity in a second. Let's skip this music because it's a bit... I'll just do jazz. There we go, it should have compiled. Now, hopefully this works on the first go, because it's a relatively simple script, alright? You'll hear my god-awful cries for help. Alright, I've got the name of those wrong, hold on. Also make sure you just have the Vrchat docs in front of you. As well, this just helps because, like, obviously I've done something wrong here. Vrchat udon. We'll go down to play API, play collisions. On player trigger enter. Yeah, okay, so it's slightly off. Hold on, give me a minute. I swear I'm not panic looking up something. The problem is with Udon Sharp is that its documentation's a bit bad. So what we do is we can go over to our Lord and Savior here, Lord Valgan, and he will show me what I've done wrong because it's the same kind of concept we're doing. Alright, so yeah, no, I was right. We had to do public override void. Public override void. There you go. Now it's super happy. So basically, I think the reason for that is that since VRChat isn't actually a Unity thing, we actually have to say, hey, we want you to override this. And now this should work. Source output dot audio. Cut off. No, cut off frequency. Cutoff frequency is equal to cutoff. Right there. And that should now work. I believe. Hopefully. It's compiling. If we go over to our audio source. Sorry. Go into the audio control. You'll see here that the audio source isn't specified. Go into there, just drag that in. And that gives you the low pass filter. And that should now edit that. See? Set to 20,000. It's on the wrong component, that's why. Hold on. Basically, it's trying to find a audio. It's trying to find a component that doesn't exist on it. So remove that. Put that in. We drag that to like back here. Where's the spawn? It's probably a very important question. Drag that all the way back here. And no, this will be set to whatever. 20,000. Let me step into here. And it doesn't work. Lovely. Why does it not work? Give me a minute. Pain. Alright, we'll copy and paste this code real quick because we need to add in a bunch of stuff. A bit of fluff. So if... what is it? Player... dot is valid. And that's a method, so we do that. Close off the brackets, go into here. Since there's an if statement, do that. And then if player is local, we'll just do... no, we have to put that in brackets because that's the condition that we're... dot is local. And then since another if statement, we do another embed, and then we do that. And then for this one here, just... oh shit, whoops. Well, let's actually just format that a bit better. There you go. We'll copy and paste that, and then we'll just delete. If think yeah, if player is not, because that's what that means. And then we'll just do return. So that just kind of cuts the script off, from my understanding. Wait, hold on. And then if we do these double things there, and then just do player. Oh, wait, hold on. It's because this is the extra condition. Player dot is local. So that's saying if the player is not local, I'm close brackets, and then return, and then that just basically goes, yeah, I don't want to execute this code. And then we do, you know, the source or the cutoff. Equal to, let's just say 2,000 or 20,000, and then we just set that to source.output is not null, but dot cutoff frequency equals, and then we'll set that to cutoff. And there you go. It is a very basic script. Now, if it doesn't work, I'm going to throw myself out of a window. So right in front of me should be the source. Let me just get the scene out. Actually see these both simultaneously. It's because it has gravity, isn't it? Yeah, see? Simple things like that is kinematic. There you go. Because basically the problem is the box isn't going to work if we don't collide with it. So if we enter it, you'll hear it muffles. And we've made ourselves a muffler script, and once you leave... So yeah, that's that. So I think the next big step is to probably increase the range of the collider. Right, we'll make this a bit bigger, like scale wise, and we're gonna do some scripting, a bit more advanced ones. So basically what we're gonna do is, I think a less optimal way of doing this is, so we're gonna add another script. So we're gonna call this one the toggle audio muffle. Grab these two scripts, chuck them in. And then what we're gonna do here is folder. I'm going to call this one audio fade. I'm going to actually fade the audio this time. I believe what we could do that with the other script, from my understanding. I think we can actually still do that. But gosh, I need to figure out stuff. So basically, when here comes paint. So we've got our little audio sources right there. So that's where the center of our object is, and the player's right here. There's a distance between them. So on the edge of the collider, it's set to 20,000, and in here it's set to 200. We divide both of those by 2, right? Or we kind of need to turn this, we need to make this into 1. So this is like the lowest you can go. So that's divided by 200. And then that one divided by 200 is 1, 2. That's 100. So it's on a scale of 100 to that, right? So what we want to do actually is we probably want to try and get the distance between the two. And how we'll do that is, you know, we'll get the player's position, and then we'll get the position of that, and then divide it like so. So I believe if the player is, let me just get out the calculator. So say for example the player is 10 meters away, right? The scale is 10 meters to 0, right? That means that we have 10 to 0. The upscaling of that is... Actually, this is getting weird. Basically, you want to compare the distances between them, and I believe the way to do that is by dividing this position by that position. Actually, shit, no, because then you can have a divide by 0 function. That's not what you want. But... see, if so basically what we need is we need a float, right? And the float is a A float is a what's called a 1 to 0 function with decimal places, so it'll be like 0.90. And then what we do with that is we can you know, shit. Okay, so 20,000 is the max. Almost 20,000 times by 20 times by 0.9. It's 18,000, right? So that's 0, that's 1. That's the scale we're on, right? So whenever I enter, I'm like 4 meters. I think what we do is we divide, or we get the distance between them by minusing the position. So say if that one is like 5 meters, right? I don't know, but you do something like that. You'd go through and you'd get its position and then try and calculate on a float scale like the fade. Now, another thing we can do is through the code, I mean, we can add in like a delayed fade in. But yeah, that's how that would work. So we've done the audio muffle setup, and now it's the player. I don't know if there's a way. Audio listener Unity. So I don't really know how the audio listener works. So we're gonna read here. Acts as a micro input to any given audio source in the scene, and it plays a sound through the computer speakers. For most applications, it makes the most sense to attach the listener to the main camera if the audio listener is within the boundaries of a reverb zone. Furthermore, audio effects can be applied to the listener, and it will be applied to all audible sounds in the scene. The problem is we want this to only affect specific things, right? So how do we work around this? Now we can add in a reverb sound if sources are 3D, blah blah blah. So we may not actually be able to add in a player muffler. Player audio muffle Unity. So we're just gonna Unity, and then we're on the BRP. Because you have to think of a way around this. So Vrchat has a weird thing where you need to have an audio listener, but we don't want to muffle everything the player hears. We only want to muffle the stuff within the player zone. Huh. Okay. So that's a bit of a... I have to think about that for the next stream. But that's that setup. Where's the text file? So we've got... done. And then we'll do that next stream. So we've done everything, really. The audio player muffle may be a bit more complicated, you see. And now it's design. So what I'd recommend doing, especially when you design stuff, is steal other people's design. I'm joking, don't do that. What we want to do here, hold on. Actually, wait, hold on, no. We'll do the custom shader thing right now, though. That's very important. So I'm going to teach you how to set up with Mucci. Shit, I just went onto the kids' website again. Mucci Unity shaders. And we'll click that. And I'll go into here. I'll just call this shaders. and we'll download the first package I see. 24 days ago it was updated. Click that, just like a standard import like that, boom, done. So what I've done is I've went onto the website here, Moochie's Unity, or I've went onto Moochie's code, Moochie's Unity shader, and I've just downloaded it, right? Pretty simple. Then this is coming in. And we'll see Moochie, right? I'm going to just drag that into shaders because I know that's a whole shader. And we'll show the video source again. I'm also going to output to an audio source, and we'll put it out to that audio source. Now, obviously, I can't use any other ones because of copyright reasons, and we'll show the video player. Video player is right there. We'll just drag that in to the scene. So right here, we've got the video player. So where I can turn up the emission. Apply gamma. 10. 20. There you go. And yep, so now we have, let's change this off LTCGI. Let's go down to Moochie. Now the problem is with LTCGI is it's only supported by certain types of shaders. So we're going to Moochie and we'll go to standard. And now if we were to play, you'd see that it wouldn't work. Let's to demo this right now. Hold on. Or it just does. Okay. Oh, okay. If I was to press that C, it doesn't work anymore. Now the beauty with LTCGI is, or beauty with shaders, is if you have certain stuff enabled, it will transfer over. So through this shader on the ground, if you press LTCGI, it just enables it. Now if I was to change the reflectiveness, so if it was more metallic, but if it was like rougher, it would give a more like diffuse light. If I was smoother, it would give a more smooth light. Now this is really dependent on what you want to use it for. If I was to change that off gamma, maybe turn the emission scale down to maybe like 5. And we'll go into processes, LTCGI controller, go into light map intensity, change that down to 1, force update, I'd say. I don't know, but yeah, you'll see there that it's reflective, and that's the same with any shader that supports LTCGI. You have Orels, you have filamented. I recommend filamented and Orels. They're both good shaders. I'm personally a Moochie person because of, where is it? It's not there, but it sometimes says Areolet. I think it's because I don't have it in this project, so it hasn't applied the Areolet stuff to it. But let's show you some of the basics. Now it's onto the design stuff. Well, let me make sure on our to-do list. Udon VCC, we've done. Udon Shop, yeah. Setting up Unity, starting designing. So one of the things is I have a very specific type of art style I like, and what I do is I know it sounds crazy. I go onto Twitter, and there's a very good person to get like good inspiration off of. If I go into my profile, hold on. Let me make sure you don't see my unfathomable amount of quirky content. And throughout the memes on here, right? Because you'll see stuff like, you know, oh, look at the Colonel Sanders, like KFC's crazy. One of the things I like doing is I follow pages which do art tips. So this is part of the VRC library. Very good website. In fact, I feel like I should probably put that in. But you have stuff like this, and these are just Vrchat worlds that have been made, and they're very good at getting a sense of like what's possible. Now, obviously, you don't want to compare yourself to other artists, but you can go through here and you can have a look at all these art things that people do. And a specific channel I like the most is, Hold on, I'll try and find them. It's Neomance, right? Neomance takes a bunch of VR photography in all these crazy worlds. And it's very good at getting, like, you know, an idea of what things look like in VR chat. I'm personally a big fan of, like, the grey lighting like this. I'm a huge fan. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. But, yeah, if you go onto Neomance's page, amazing person. Will not do free advertising, but, they take wonderful photos of VR chat worlds, and it's a very good way of getting a gist of, you know, what's possible in VR chat and what people are able to do. Like this kind of environment, I love the look of. But there's a certain design. I don't quite know the name of it, but it popped up a few weeks ago. I'm a big fan of like these kind of torn down environments. This is a world made by Iron Biscuit. Yeah, Epoch. That's quite nice. I like how like the cleanness and also the dirtiness. But I'm actually a big fan of the super sterile environments, which if I find, I'll show you. There's another one. Beautiful church setup. Kind of, yeah. But if I was to go back into my likes, go down, you'll sorry for all the memes. It's like sprinkled in. Just there. So this kind of environment here I really want to go with. This is what we're gonna... This is the blender side of this part of this stream we're gonna be doing. Is we're gonna start like designing a club environment. But the thing is we kind of really want to try and figure out the layout. Where we want this to be based. We want to kind of have like a bit of a description, because if you start just putting stuff together, you'll run into the problem where things start to clash, things don't mix together, and you're not thinking about it. What I'd recommend in these kinds of situations, especially if you want to go down a more realistic route, you kind of need to like try and understand architecture in a sense, like how things are laid out, and you can try and actually, you know, design stuff around that. But like these kinds of environments are really pretty. I do recommend having a look at what other people do, but expand off that. Don't just take someone's idea and use it. What you want to do is make it into something new. Like, because I think this is beautiful, but what I'd want to do is to make this more industrial. This looks very sci-fi, where I want to make this more of like a server room kind of setup thing. And that will take some time, but we can do it. Now, that's why I wanted to get the basics of the audio muffling sorted, so whenever you actually enter, the sound effects actually sound better. I'm going to have some sort of form of spatialization. I'm going to look into video players, which one's probably the best bet for the club world. But that's all part of, like... Oh, great. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've been on private this entire fucking time. Oh my gosh. Oh, lovely. That is awful. That is just... Oh no. I was gonna end up soon. Oh well, we've learned. I think. Oh my gosh. No wonder no one was here. I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. Anyway, but yeah, no, just you don't want to take other people's ideas. You want to kind of build off them, make them better. And most VR chat creators don't really care if you use stuff or use ideas that you've gotten from them. But some do. And for those some, just be careful, because you don't want to make any enemies. You know, with a whole content creation, you want to go through and, you know, befriend people and learn off them. Yeah, that's kind of what you want to do. Now for this, what I'd recommend is you go onto like Google and you type in, or I'm just going to do like a reverse Google search. Maybe. I need to find the name of this kind of style, but what you want to do is say, look up like Toon Forest, for example. And just scroll through here and you'll have a look at all the stuff. Let's just type in game. This kind of stuff here, right? You have a look at all these, you get your inspiration, right? And you build up this reference sheet page. And you kind of want to have that where it covers the most possible things. For example, in the reference page I'll be building, but I'll be building it off stream because I obviously don't want to risk having and going in and finding like NSFW content. What I'm going to do is I'm going to like go through, censor that all out, but then I'll show you my reference page next time I stream, which will probably be maybe midweek later, something like that. But yeah, we'll I try to put it all together, and yeah, that's the small bit of work we're going to be doing. Now this is going to be a bit of a short stream, but that's because right now we're only setting up the basics. It's only really, I wanted to pop in, do this for a bit, and then I was going to go worry about some other stuff that I have for VRC prefabs. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. It's stupidly long. I really should not be doing streams on unlisted and then publicizing them, but hey, it's gotta work sometimes, you know? So anyway, I'm gonna end up here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've learned a lot, okay? And I'll